There are moments in life when nothing goes according to plan, when dreams collapse, relationships fall apart, opportunities vanish, and the future seems uncertain. In those moments, the world doesn't ask how much money you have, how many titles you hold, or how many followers you've gained. It asks something far more profound: who are you when everything goes wrong? This question doesn't arise when life is smooth, it emerges in the storm, in the silence after failure, in the darkness after disappointment. And it's in these very moments that your true identity is revealed, not the one shaped by success, but the one forged in struggle. This is not just a question, it's a doorway to your deepest strength, your hidden resilience, and your untapped power. Understanding the true self in the face of adversity. When life unfolds according to our plans, when things go smoothly, and when success seems to follow us, it's easy to feel confident about who we are. We feel in control, validated by outcomes, and proud of our achievements. But the truth is, these moments don't define us. They reflect the surface, not the core. The real test of character begins the moment everything goes wrong. Have you ever faced a moment when everything you worked for crumbled? A moment when you lost your job, your relationship ended, your dreams slipped through your fingers. In that space of confusion, fear, and pain, a much deeper question arises: who am I now? Adversity has a unique power. It strips away the masks we wear, the titles, the roles, the external validations. When we're standing in the ruins of our plans, all that's left is the raw, unfiltered version of ourselves. And that is where the discovery begins. Too often, we tie our identity to what we do, what we have, or what others think of us. We believe we are our success, our reputation, our productivity. But adversity comes to challenge that belief. It comes to show us that we are not just our accomplishments, we are how we respond when our accomplishments are taken away. Think about a tree in the middle of a storm. You can't see its roots, but the storm tests them. The deeper the roots, the more the tree endures. The same is true for us. When everything falls apart, our roots, our values, our inner strength, our truth, either hold us steady or reveal how shallow they are. This isn't about pretending to be strong when you're hurting. It's about being honest with yourself. Adversity invites self-awareness, and self-awareness is the first step to inner transformation. It's in the struggle that we begin to ask real questions. What do I truly believe? What matters most to me? What kind of person do I want to be, not just when life is good, but when it's unbearable? We are not born knowing ourselves. We discover ourselves through experience. And more often than not, it is the painful, uncomfortable experiences that teach us the most. They reveal what we cling to, what we fear, and what we've ignored within ourselves for too long. When you're stripped of all comfort, what remains? When no one is watching, and there's no reward for doing the right thing, what choices do you make? Those answers form the foundation of who you really are. Understanding your true self in the face of adversity requires courage. The courage to sit with your pain instead of running from it. The courage to face your flaws without shame. The courage to be vulnerable instead of pretending to be invincible. One of the greatest lies we've been told is that pain is a sign of weakness. In reality, pain is often the beginning of wisdom. It opens our eyes. It humbles us. It teaches us empathy. It reminds us that we are human. And in that raw humanity, we find authenticity. Adversity also shows us the gap between who we think we are and who we truly are. You may think you're a patient person, until you're tested by delay after delay. You may believe you're confident, until you're surrounded by rejection. You may see yourself as compassionate, until you're forced to forgive someone who hurt you deeply. These tests aren't punishments. They're opportunities. Opportunities to see clearly, to grow intentionally, to become someone deeper, wiser, stronger. You don't have to have all the answers right now. Sometimes, understanding your true self starts with admitting that you don't know who you are, and that's okay. Because that honesty is the beginning of clarity. And from clarity comes direction. When you stop defining yourself by what's happening around you, and start observing what's happening within you, you begin to shift from reaction to awareness. And with awareness, comes the power to choose. You can choose integrity over ego. You can choose patience over frustration. You can choose growth over self-pity. You can choose to learn from the pain, instead of being consumed by it. The world may never see these choices. They're invisible victories. But they matter. They matter because they shape your inner identity, the version of you that will carry you forward, no matter how uncertain the road becomes. Understanding your true self doesn't mean having everything figured out. It means knowing where you stand when there's nothing left to hold on to but yourself. It means accepting that you are enough, even in the midst of failure. It means choosing to rise, not because someone is watching, but because you believe in who you are becoming. So if you find yourself in a moment where everything is falling apart, pause. Breathe. Don't rush to escape the discomfort. Instead, lean into it. Ask yourself the hard questions. Listen for the quiet answers. There is wisdom in the silence. There is strength in the breaking. There is truth waiting to be found in the rubble. And in that truth, you will begin to see not just who you are, but who you have the power to become. The power of resilience and self-reflection. When the world around you begins to crumble, when your plans fall apart and your future looks uncertain, you are given a choice. You can surrender to the chaos, or you can dig deeper and discover the quiet, powerful force that lives within you, resilience. Resilience is not the absence of pain. It's not about pretending everything is fine or brushing your emotions under the rug. True resilience is the ability to bend without breaking, to move forward even while carrying the weight of disappointment, and to find meaning in the struggle. In moments of hardship, it's easy to believe that strength comes from pushing through, from grinding, from forcing solutions. But real strength, lasting, inner strength, comes from reflection. From sitting still with your pain, examining it, and asking, what is this trying to teach me? This is where self-reflection becomes essential. Without it, pain can become poison, bitterness, regret, resentment. But with reflection, pain becomes a teacher. It helps you process your experiences, identify your patterns, and confront your blind spots. It brings clarity. We often assume that resilience means never falling. But the truth is, resilience is defined by how we rise. And we can only rise wisely when we first reflect on how and why we fell. Think of a time when something didn't go your way, a failed opportunity, a betrayal, a loss. What did you do next? Did you bury it and move on without understanding it? Or did you pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This simple question is powerful. Because when you look back with honesty, not judgment, you start to see the patterns. Maybe you ignored red flags. Maybe you compromised your values. Maybe you put your self-worth in the hands of someone else. Whatever the reason, seeing it clearly is the first step to change. Self-reflection is not about self-blame. It's about self-awareness. It's not about shaming yourself for the past, it's about gaining wisdom for the future. And here's what happens when you reflect, you grow. Slowly, quietly, but deeply. You begin to notice your triggers. You become more intentional in your actions. You stop reacting, and start responding. You stop breaking at every setback, and begin adapting. This is resilience in motion. Resilience doesn't mean you never feel broken. It means you learn how to rebuild yourself, better, wiser, and stronger than before. We admire those who appear unshaken in the face of disaster. But the truth is, most resilient people have known deep pain. They've lost things that mattered. They've questioned their worth. They've cried behind closed doors. What makes them resilient is not that they avoided pain, it's that they chose to grow through it. The process of becoming resilient starts with a mindset shift, from asking why is this happening to me? To what is this trying to teach me? That one shift transforms suffering into strength. Let's be clear, resilience is not about being emotionless. It's not about ignoring grief, anger, or fear. It's about honoring those emotions without being controlled by them. It's about acknowledging your pain while still choosing to move forward with purpose. Sometimes, resilience means resting. Sometimes it means setting boundaries. Sometimes it means asking for help. All of these are acts of strength. Because resilience is not just about pushing through, it's about adapting wisely. You don't have to bounce back overnight. You don't have to have it all together. But every time you choose to reflect rather than react, every time you choose to grow instead of shrink, you are building resilience. You are developing a version of yourself that can weather more than you thought possible. Here's the truth most people avoid: life will break you in some way. But that breaking isn't the end, it's the beginning of becoming. And it's in those broken places that resilience finds its home. Self-reflection is the companion of resilience because it gives you insight into yourself, your beliefs, your fears, your defaults. It allows you to step back and say, this isn't just happening to me, it's happening for me, if I'm willing to listen. And when you begin to live with that mindset, you change your relationship with difficulty. You stop avoiding it. You begin to trust that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to face it, learn from it, and rise through it. You stop saying, I can't believe this happened to me, and start saying, I now know who I am because of it. That's the power of resilience. It transforms identity through adversity. That's the gift of self-reflection. It brings meaning to the mess. So the next time you're in the middle of a struggle, don't rush to escape it. Don't numb it. Don't hide from it. Instead, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I learning about myself? What patterns am I repeating that no longer serve me? What kind of person do I want to become through this? Let those questions guide you, not to a perfect answer, but to a deeper version of you. Remember, you are not weak for feeling broken. You are not failing because life feels heavy. You are growing. You are expanding. You are uncovering your strength. Resilience is already inside you. Self-reflection is the key to unlocking it. This is who you are when everything goes wrong. Not someone who crumbles, but someone who discovers what it means to rise, with intention, with clarity, and with an unshakable belief that even in the worst of times, you are becoming something greater. Shifting perspective, seeing failure as an opportunity for growth. Failure is one of the most feared experiences in life. From childhood, we are taught to avoid failure, to succeed at all costs and to measure our worth by our achievements. But what if failure isn't the enemy? What if failure is actually one of the most important teachers we'll ever have? When everything goes wrong, it's natural to feel defeated, ashamed, or even hopeless. We want to retreat, to hide, or to blame circumstances or others. But these reactions only deepen the pain. The key to transformation lies in changing how we see failure, not as a dead end, but as a doorway. Imagine your life is a journey, and failure is simply a detour, not a dead-end street. It's a signpost pointing you to a new direction you might not have considered otherwise. It forces you to slow down, reflect, and reassess your path. This shift in perspective can turn a devastating experience into an opportunity for growth. Every great success story is filled with moments of failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by numerous publishers before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon. What made the difference? It wasn't just talent, it was the ability to see failure as a necessary part of the process. Failure strips away illusions. It breaks down false confidence and exposes weaknesses. And this exposure, painful as it is, creates space for new growth. When you stop fighting failure and start embracing it as feedback, you open yourself to learning and improvement. This doesn't mean we should seek failure or become reckless. It means that when failure happens, we don't run from it or bury it in shame. Instead, we ask, what can I learn from this? How can this experience shape me for the better? This mindset shift requires courage and humility. Courage to admit mistakes and humility to accept that we don't have all the answers. But it also requires hope, the belief that something better awaits on the other side of failure. When you shift your perspective, failure loses its power to paralyze you. Instead, it becomes a powerful catalyst. It fuels your creativity, sharpens your problem-solving skills, and strengthens your resolve. It teaches you resilience, patience, and perseverance. This new perspective changes your relationship with risk. Instead of fearing failure, you begin to take calculated risks, knowing that even if you stumble, you have the tools to rise again. You understand that growth happens outside your comfort zone, and failure is often the gateway there. You also begin to forgive yourself for past failures. You let go of the harsh self-judgment and realize that failure does not define your worth. Instead, it defines your journey, a journey of learning, evolving, and becoming. Consider the stories of people who have faced great loss or failure and emerged stronger. They didn't become victims of their circumstances. They became students of life, transforming setbacks into stepping stones. When you adopt this mindset, your inner narrative changes. Instead of saying, "I failed, so I am a failure," you say, "I failed, and that means I am trying. I am growing." This simple change in language rewires your brain toward optimism and possibility. This perspective shift is not automatic. It takes practice and intention. You can start by journaling about your failures and what they taught you. You can talk openly with trusted friends or mentors about your setbacks and listen to their insights. You can remind yourself daily that failure is temporary, but the lessons it offers are permanent. By seeing failure as an opportunity, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become an active participant in your own growth. You begin to embrace life's challenges with curiosity rather than fear. So the next time everything goes wrong, remember, failure is not the end of your story. It's a new chapter, one where you learn more about yourself, build your strength, and prepare to move forward with greater wisdom. You are not broken by failure. You are built by it. And in that truth lies your greatest potential. Embracing change, rebuilding and redefining yourself. When everything falls apart, when the foundation of your life feels like it's crumbling beneath you, the natural response is to resist. We want things to go back to the way they were. We long for stability, familiarity, and comfort. But life rarely offers a reset button. Instead, it offers us something more profound, change. Change is often seen as the enemy, something to fear or avoid. It disrupts routines, challenges our beliefs, and forces us out of our comfort zones. But the reality is that change is essential. Without it, growth is impossible. Without it, we remain stuck in patterns that no longer serve us. To embrace change means to accept life's unpredictability and to recognize that your identity is not fixed but fluid. You are not trapped by your past experiences, your failures, or even your past successes. You have the power to evolve continuously, to rebuild yourself anew. This process of rebuilding after loss or failure is not easy. It takes time, patience, and tremendous self-compassion. It's like piecing together a shattered vase, not rushing to glue every fragment immediately, but carefully examining each piece and deciding where it belongs. Sometimes you find pieces you thought were lost forever. Sometimes, you realize some pieces don't fit anymore and need to be set aside. Rebuilding means more than restoration, it means transformation. You don't simply restore your old life, you create a new one, one shaped by the lessons of your past and the hopes for your future. You build a stronger foundation rooted in deeper understanding, resilience, and clarity of purpose. One of the first steps to rebuilding is to redefine who you are. This is a powerful and liberating act. When life shakes you to your core, it offers an opportunity to ask yourself, who do I want to become, rather than, who was I before this happened? Redefinition invites you to release limiting beliefs about yourself. Maybe you believed you were defined by your job, your relationship, or your social status. Maybe you thought your worth depended on success or approval from others. These beliefs often crumble during hard times, and that's a good thing. Because now, you have the chance to build your identity based on who you truly are, your values, your passions, your character. This is where self-awareness plays a critical role. You begin to explore what matters most to you. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? What principles will guide your choices? What strengths have you discovered in yourself that you never noticed before? Redefining yourself is not about becoming perfect or having everything figured out. It's about becoming more authentic, more aligned with your inner truth. It's about progress, not perfection. Change also forces you to confront fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of rejection. These fears are natural, but they don't have to control you. When you choose to embrace change, you face those fears with courage. You step into uncertainty knowing that discomfort is part of growth. This courage is not the absence of fear but the willingness to act despite it. It's about taking small steps forward even when the path is unclear. Each step you take builds momentum and confidence. It shows you that you are capable of adapting and thriving even in new circumstances. Embracing change also means being open to new possibilities. Sometimes, the very thing we resist holds the key to our growth. A new job opportunity, a different way of living, a fresh perspective on relationships, these changes can open doors we never imagined. To fully embrace change, it's helpful to cultivate flexibility in your thinking. Life will throw curveballs. Plans will shift. You may need to pivot, try new approaches, or let go of old goals. Flexibility doesn't mean giving up, it means adapting your strategies to align with your evolving self and circumstances. This mindset shift, from rigid control to adaptable openness, allows you to navigate change with grace. It reduces resistance and increases your ability to find creative solutions. Another important aspect of rebuilding is self-compassion. Often, after experiencing loss or failure, people become harsh on themselves. They replay mistakes, blame themselves, or feel unworthy of happiness. But self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. It's okay to grieve what you've lost. It's okay to acknowledge your pain. And it's okay to give yourself permission to heal at your own pace. When you practice self-compassion, you create a safe inner space for growth. As you rebuild and redefine yourself, don't forget to seek support. Change is challenging, and no one thrives in isolation. Reach out to trusted friends, mentors, or counselors. Share your journey, ask for help, and allow others to hold space for you. Connection is a vital part of healing and transformation. Finally, embracing change is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time event. Life will continue to test and teach you. But each time you choose to rebuild and redefine yourself, you become more resilient, more grounded, and more empowered. Remember this, you are not the sum of your setbacks. You are the sum of your choices, especially the choices to grow, to adapt, and to embrace the new. You are a continual work in progress, and that is the most beautiful truth of all. So when everything goes wrong, don't resist the change that follows. Welcome it. See it as an invitation to rebuild, not just your life, but your sense of self. Step into the unknown with courage, redefine who you are by what you choose to become, and trust that your greatest strengths lie ahead. This is the power of embracing change. This is the strength you hold within. This is your path forward. Cultivating inner strength, finding peace amidst the storm. When everything in your life feels like it's falling apart, when chaos and uncertainty swirl around you like a relentless storm, the question arises, how do you find peace? How do you cultivate strength from within that no external circumstance can shake? This is the heart of true resilience, the ability to stand firm inside, even when the world outside is unpredictable and harsh. Inner strength is not about never feeling fear, sadness, or pain. It is not about hiding emotions or pretending everything is fine. Real inner strength is about embracing your humanity fully, acknowledging the full spectrum of your emotions, and yet choosing to remain grounded, centered, and hopeful despite them. When you face overwhelming difficulties, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, lost, or disconnected from yourself. The external chaos can cloud your mind, and the pressure to fix things immediately can be crushing. But rushing or forcing solutions often backfires. Instead, the first step toward cultivating inner strength is to slow down and turn inward. This may sound counterintuitive when everything seems urgent, but creating space for reflection and mindfulness builds the foundation of your inner fortress. Practices like deep breathing, meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts can help you reconnect with yourself and your core values. They remind you that no matter what happens outside, there is a place inside you that remains steady and unshaken. One of the greatest sources of inner strength is acceptance. Acceptance does not mean giving up or resigning to defeat. It means acknowledging reality as it is, without denial or resistance. When you accept the situation, you stop wasting energy fighting against what cannot be changed. This frees up your mental and emotional resources to focus on what you can influence. Acceptance brings clarity. It allows you to see things more objectively, without the fog of anger, denial, or despair. And with clarity comes peace, a calm in the eye of the storm. Another critical element of inner strength is purpose. When you know what matters most to you, when you connect with your deepest values and passions, you gain a powerful compass to navigate difficult times. Purpose anchors you. It reminds you why you keep going even when the path is unclear. It gives meaning to your struggles and fuels your perseverance. Purpose can be big or small. It could be a commitment to care for your family, to create art, to help others, or simply to live with kindness and integrity. Whatever it is, holding on to purpose transforms hardship from meaningless suffering into meaningful challenge. Inner strength is also nurtured by hope, the belief that the future holds possibility, even if the present feels bleak. Hope is not naive optimism, it is a courageous choice to believe in potential and growth. Hope fuels resilience because it shifts your mindset from despair to possibility. Cultivating inner strength requires building habits that reinforce your well-being. This includes taking care of your body through proper nutrition, sleep, and exercise. Physical health and mental strength are deeply connected. When your body is strong, your mind is clearer and more resilient. Building supportive relationships is equally vital. Inner strength does not mean going it alone. It means knowing when to lean on others, to share your burdens, and to receive comfort and encouragement. Human connection is a profound source of healing and fortitude. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the storm feels too fierce. In those times, remind yourself that strength is not about perfection or never falling. It's about rising again and again. It's about showing up for yourself with kindness, patience, and courage. Remember the story of the bamboo tree that bends in the wind but does not break. It teaches us that flexibility and strength coexist. Inner strength is much the same, it's about being resilient, adaptable, and rooted. Finally, cultivating inner strength invites you to embrace your spiritual self, whatever that means for you. For some, it's faith in a higher power, for others, it's connection to nature, to humanity, or to a sense of universal love. Spirituality can provide a profound sense of peace, purpose, and belonging that transcends immediate troubles. In conclusion, when everything goes wrong, your greatest resource is the strength within. It is a wellspring of peace, hope, and resilience that no external storm can extinguish. Cultivating this strength takes time and intentional effort, but it is the foundation for rebuilding, redefining, and rising. Who you are when everything goes wrong is not just someone who endures. You are someone who finds peace amidst chaos, strength amidst struggle, and light amidst darkness. You are a warrior of the soul, unyielding, compassionate, and alive. And in that truth lies your deepest power.